Hi everyone, this is Hillary Ellers and I'm coming to you from Lightworks Studio. Once again, getting back into the videos, and I'm very excited to get this going again. I hope you've been following them, and today I'm going to begin a series of lessons on the subject of spiritual initiation. And the reason I chose this topic is because this is a process that I believe a lot of you are going through, but you may not realize you're going through it, or you may not understand it. It's very connected. The whole process of spiritual initiation is very connected to, quote unquote, the grand plan for planet Earth and humanity. It has to do with the support that humanity receives as we move forward and grow spiritually, as we grow in prescribed and predictable stages of development. So today we're going to talk about this in terms of going back, and maybe you remember this. This was a long time ago. One of the first lessons that we covered had to do with the urges of consciousness, and that there are three main urges. And those have to do with connecting, creating, and completing. And spiritual initiation ties into and aligns with the third of these urges, the urge to complete. Because through spiritual growth and the help that humanity receives from the hierarchy, the spiritual teachers who work with our planet, we learn all that we can learn about being human, and in a sense, we, quote unquote, complete our work as humans. So there are 5 stages of spiritual initiation. The 5th stage really is a graduating point into what are called the cosmic initiations. And most people are, the vast majority of people are at the very beginning of this process, in which they are really not yet first degree initiates. They are what we would call probationary initiates. And the probationary students are on the path because they have begun to awaken on a spiritual level. The probationary students are beginning to feel the stirrings inside themselves of spiritual curiosity and of the desire to grow. Each stage disrupts and can have a chaotic effect on the lives of initiates. And know this, that whenever there is a big step forward, there will always be a certain stage of chaos. And that has to do with the breaking down of what is, so that something new can emerge. When you're in chaos, be careful that you don't go into judgment about yourself, because very, very often you're really in a stage of tremendous growth. It certainly isn't comfortable, and I don't think any of us like chaos, but it's necessary as an agent to help create change. in this probationary level, as the student begins to align more with their spiritual growth, they begin to attract, and they do attract, a spiritual teacher. And this teacher is an inner master being. So the teacher is an advanced soul. They are generally not in the physical with you. They are helping you from the inner levels. And you may not even really be conscious that you have this special relationship. We're going to get into this as we go into this lesson, but meditating will help you begin to feel more about these energies you're stepping into as you come into initiation. So you begin to form a relationship with your master teacher. And the teacher generally will be a being who will be working with you through your initiatory steps. And know this about initiation: it's a very arduous, slow process. A lot of people think, well, this month I must have been going through an initiation. It was such a difficult month. Well, how about this lifetime? And in fact, some of the initiations require a number of lifetimes. This is a very slow building process. You're changing such basic things about yourself as you go through initiation. One of the first things that begins to happen is, even before you become a first-degree initiate, even when you are still probationary, you begin to mature more on a spiritual level. And one of the things that this spiritual maturity brings you is a letting go of your personal desires, so that you can begin, and you do begin, to focus more on the needs of the collective. What is good? What is the common good for all? And the initiate begins to be more sensitive to what is good for humanity, not just for themselves. It's not just about what the individual wants. As you grow spiritually, you begin to want what is good for all of us. As we've said, the vast majority of people are still on the probationary path, or some have not even entered that path yet. Each initiation brings us a crisis, and it also brings us much, much more expansion of consciousness. So there's difficult stages in the initiation, and then there are rewards. We begin to be much more sensitive to and aware of the plan for Earth and the plan for humanity, and you can begin to feel that you have a part in that plan. And I think that spiritual awakening is such a wonderful process, because so many of us feel quote unquote lost. So many of us feel a yearning for more meaning in our lives. We feel alone. We feel isolated. many of us have these types of feelings. And as you grow spiritually, you begin to feel unity with all life. Alice Bailey, the very well-known theosophical author, wrote about unity with all life as pardon me, she wrote about unity with all life as a part of the spiritual awakening and that awareness of connection. So collectively, we're also at a point of great change, and that's part of why there's so much chaos on our planet at this time. People feel stressed in general, I believe. I experience that with my clients and with my students, that people in general right now are really feeling stressed. And that's because there is an actual energy present that is speeding up the evolution of humanity. And this speeding up is right at this point is taking the form of challenges, tests. We're being challenged as to the choices we make, how we live our lives. And there's a lot of stress involved as we find, as a society, we are losing our old identities. We don't have the things to fall back on that have been so familiar and trustworthy. Our money systems, our banking systems, our medical systems, our educational systems, all of the systems of our civilization on a world level are shifting and changing right now. And it's very much, I don't know if you ever went to what used to be called fun houses. When I lived in California, I was a child then, my dad would take us, my brother and I, to these fun houses. And the fun houses had walkways you could walk on, and the floor of the walkway was wiggling and moving all about. And so it was very hard to balance as you walked on it. That's how life feels right now for a lot of people, probably most people. But within, or maybe I should just say and within, all that change, all that breakdown, all that confusion, a certain sense of loss certainly is present, and there is the opportunity for all of us collectively to really grow and step forward. Now, at a certain point of commitment that the student makes who's on the probationary path, they are ready to take the first degree of initiation. The master teacher guides them and leads them and helps them as they process everything they need to learn and know and all that they need to be able to live. The master teacher is helping. In the first degree of initiation, the initiate is working on learning how to focus and balance a constructive use of physical energy. Like, how do we live in the physical plane constructively? That's first degree initiate work. And at this level, we also begin to gain insights and we learn more about what are called the laws of creation. And again, this relates to the master plan for the earth, that there is a plan at work, that we each have a role in this plan, and there are certain energies that have come together through which outcomes that are predictable are created. And in the first level of initiation, you begin to learn how to create through your conscious choices. You begin to learn how to work the energies of creation. It's a very wonderful awakening. After a certain amount of time learning all that you can learn from this level of initiation, you stand ready to move forward again, to take another big step into new lessons, further growth, and you move into the work of learning how to be a second degree spiritual initiate. The first degree of initiation is referred to through the theosophical teachings as the birth. This second level of initiation through theosophical teachings, this second level is called the baptism. And here the student or the initiate begins to learn about just the beginning of mastering their emotions and feelings. Big job. Most of us, even those of us who have been initiates for a long time, still can be very tested through emotional challenges. And at this second level or second degree of initiation, we just begin to understand and learn more about how to separate ourselves out enough from our reactions that we can maintain emotional balance. And it's very important, this whole thing about balancing your feelings and emotions. In order to be able to create consciously, you need to be able to do this. If you are always reacting to life, you are just, in a sense, a puppet, and life itself is pulling all the strings, but you are not really creating. It's only when you begin to be able to balance with feelings and emotions that you can step into the role of being a conscious creator. And at this level, you also begin to be much more involved in your desire to grow. So your emotions, instead of being chaotic and scattered and reactionary, can begin to be focused toward specific outcomes you desire. And you also begin to step into better choice making. That's a big one. I'm laughing because I'm just thinking of all the choices I've made in my life that I can look back on and go, what was I thinking? And probably the truth is, I wasn't thinking. I was probably just reacting. As a second degree initiate, this process, learning how to be with our feelings and emotions and bring them into balance, is the most time-consuming initiatory step. We can be in this level for any number of lifetimes. So be patient with yourself, and when you don't manage your emotions as well as you want to, just affirm to yourself you're learning, and be kind to yourself. The next level of initiation comes when you have learned enough about managing your physical life constructively and balancing your emotions, and you don't do either of those perfectly. As you progress through the initiatory steps, you are still learning. You're learning how to master these energies. And each step you continue to work on the lessons you picked up on from the very beginning as a first degree initiate. And you keep refining those energies within yourself. The next level here, following the second degree initiation, is the third. It is called the transfiguration. And this is the most important initiation up until this point. It's more important than the first or second initiations. What you're beginning to learn is more masterful. And here at the third level of initiation, you begin to learn, and again, it is begin. You begin to learn how to master balancing and blending your mind, your physical life, and your feelings and emotions. That's one reason this is such an important stage of initiation. And here at this point, you not only are learning how to bring a balance or a synthesis within these levels of yourself, physically, emotionally, and mentally, you begin to be able to demonstrate. You begin to be able to live the rewards of balance. And at this point, you are able to step much, much more into loving. You are able to step much more into forgiving. And you can be of much greater service to the whole. I want you to be thinking about what we are discussing and see if you can find yourself in these stages of growth, in these stages of development. Perhaps, and I hope this information will help you tremendously in letting go of judgment about yourself when you find your life in chaos. It's very important to realize again that that is often the very beginning point of important change and growth. I want to bring this lesson to a close now, and we're going to pick up on this information in our very next lesson. So think about yourself. Think about what's important to you, the feelings you have, the attractions you feel, what are you drawn toward, and see if you can begin to find yourself somewhere in this process. Thank you. Take care. And now let's relax and meditate together for a moment. In this moment, allow yourself to step into your body more fully. Just imagine you're stepping into your body. And as you do, feel how your body is feeling. Perhaps this is the first time all day that you've taken time to really check out how your body feels. And just know that any place within your body that is tight or tense, any place that there is any degree of pain or discomfort, is simply a place in which energy is blocked. And as we meditate and you relax, that energy can flow better, and your body can be more comfortable. As you have stepped into your body, begin to simply feel how it feels to breathe. You don't need to control your breath, just pay attention to how it feels to breathe. And feel that it is a very good feeling. Imagine that every incoming breath is bringing a soothing wave of relaxation through your entire body. Every incoming breath is bringing a beautiful wave of relaxation through your entire body. And just feel your muscles as they let go. Feel your muscles as they are growing longer. They are lengthening as they relax. Every outgoing breath is carrying with it all of the stress of the day, all out and away from you. Every outgoing breath is carrying with it all of the tension of this day, all out, all away from you. And when you feel you have relaxed as much as you can, find yourself relaxing even deeper. From this deeply relaxed place, there are levels of awareness you have access to that normally are not available. Just imagine that in this deeply relaxed state, you are in touch and in tune with many, many parts of your process. Begin now to be aware of your levels of spiritual growth. What have you been experiencing? What kind of experiences have been happening in your life? And what opportunity to learn and grow do these experiences give you? Be aware of the opportunities, the stress in your life, the challenges in your life give you. And as you look at these challenges, see them as opportunities to learn. See if you can open your thinking. You may not know the very best way to direct your energy, and yet you can be aware. There is a way to grow. And now imagine and see yourself directing your energy in the most growthful and constructive way. What are you doing that is most growthful, most constructive? And use your imagination. And imagine that this is a blueprint for you, a plan. You are being shown a way to grow. You can do this. Your life and your inner teacher are teaching you how to grow. Now, give thanks for all you are aware of, and gradually begin to return to your surface level of consciousness. Just begin to return back up to the surface and bring with you all that you have experienced. When you've returned, you can begin to move a bit. You can begin to wiggle or stretch or rub your hands together, rub your face. You are back in your body, safely grounded. And just open your eyes when you're ready. And I want to suggest you write about this in the journal you've been keeping. And begin to be aware that you're being taught through these uncomfortable stresses that are happening. Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll connect next time.